There are moments that split your life in two, and that is before breast cancer and
Mhm.
after. When I was diagnosed with breast cancer, it was on the phone that I got the diagnosis after a routine mammogram at 40.
Welcome to Cancer Bites, bold voices, big insights, and unstoppable energy, because cancer doesn't get the last word.
We are back with another episode of Cancer Bites, or podcast where we explore stories, science, soul behind healing and survivorship in the journey of cancer. And my name is Stacey Alvarez de la Campa. I'm based in Barbados, and we are joined today by a guest who shines from the inside out. And as soon as we saw each other before we started to record and go live, I thought, wow, I can feel the light through the screen. So our guest is a breast cancer survivor, a beauty industry trailblazer. She's the founder of Gleem Beauty, and this is a skincare brand that empowers women to heal, glow, and to discover confidence through self-care. And that's one of our consistent themes throughout this podcast has been the importance of self-care. So Marlene, thank you so much for joining us. Marlene Wallach, we're going to ask you a little bit about your journey to start with. So can you take us back to the moment that your journey began? Of course, we want to respect that this might not be easy for you to talk about. And we're here to hear you.
There are moments that split your life in two, and that is before breast cancer and
Mhm.
after. When I was diagnosed with breast cancer, it was on the phone that I got the diagnosis after a routine mammogram at 40.
Wow.
Everything just stopped.
Yeah.
There's the fear, of course, but also the deep awareness that life will never look quite the same again. Pretty quickly, I decided this was not going to define me. I was going to define it.
Yes.
And that shift from fear to purpose changed everything about how I live and ultimately, what I chose to build for myself.
Yeah, that is wonderful. And I see the core of empowerment, that empowerment is going to chart your path from the moment you did hear the diagnosis. And that I think is going to be super inspirational to anyone listening. And, in that empowerment, I know the importance of being grounded and empowering. It's a nice word, but it can be hard. So what kept you grounded and gave you strength during that time?
Well, I guess it was gratitude
Mm,
for
yes.
my body, my doctors, my friends, and my family. And it was also about curiosity about what I was going to learn about this. I know it sounds a little highfalutin, but I somehow took a kind of a philosophical approach to the whole thing. Maybe, it was my way of dealing. That was my way of dealing. Other people just stay home and cry. That was not what I did. And believe it or not, it was partly aloe vera
Oh,
because
wow.
my skin was so sensitive during treatment that nothing else helped. And
Wow.
aloe became my small, daily ritual. It soothed me literally and emotionally. And it gave me a sense of control.
Nice.
Tiny bit of comfort was still there for me, even through all this.
Nice. I do like you mentioned the importance of ritual and that ritual that involved self-care. And I'm
Yeah.
sensing that maybe that was the spark where, we talk about Gleam Beauty and when did it first come to life? Because it sounds like the seed was laid there to do with skincare and self-care.
That was the spark. I'd spent years in the modeling world, where women chase flawless skin, often at the expense of their own self-esteem. I wanted to create a skincare that truly was care,
Yes.
that healed while it beautifies. And that's how Gleam was born. It was born from the intersection of confidence, healing, as well as clean science.
That's fantastic. So the idea of something coming to life and skincare and beauty that doesn't just cover, but also
Right.
helps to deal with and heal
Right.
issue or what you're looking at. So that word gleam, what does that word mean to you personally? And also, and emotionally to an extent, the whole idea of gleam.
Well, gleam to me means light,
Ah,
not shiny filtered light on a movie set, but the light that comes from strength, from getting through something, and from choosing joy. It's the moment you feel proud of your skin, proud of your story, and you just want to gleam.
oh, I love that. That is so beautiful. As soon as you said light, I had this image of, not just light that's coming from you, you're emanating, but you're lighting the way for others. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about Gleam. And clearly skincare and self-care, we'll talk about beauty as a path to healing now. How did that become part of your healing journey, skincare and self-care?
Well, during treatment, I couldn't tolerate most products. My skin was fragile, reactive, and nothing, and I was afraid, truthfully, to use anything but something that was pure. So
Yes.
that was where aloe vera came in, and I tried to drink a lot of water and rest. My therapy was chemotherapy. So what happened to me was I would go on a Wednesday and I would stay out of work Thursday, Friday, and of course Saturday and Sunday. And by Monday, I was ready to go back to work. Everything else felt out of control. It was like I just had to remind myself I'm still here and I'm still me. And that's really how Gleam was born. It was born through the act of self-caring, one small, bit at a time.
Yeah. Yeah. And that I know I'm gonna remember a lot from this conversation, which I think is amazing. But when you mention self-care as an act, it can't be something we just think about and talk about. It's something we need to actually act on it. So, and I think it's those actions that give confidence. And I mean, confidence is just coming off of you in waves. I'm gonna be like taking some of that confidence in. Like, how do you see confidence and beauty connected to recovery in your journey?
Oh, I think that's one and the same, because when you look in the mirror and start to recognize yourself again, now that's powerful. It's not vanity, it's vitality. After an illness, so much of your identity is shaken, your energy, your appearance, even, your sense of yourself. And confidence is a form of self-medicating.
Yeah.
When you nurture your skin, you're nurturing your spirit, instead of just think. That was how I saw it at the time. I didn't see it as just throwing on some stuff. I took the time, because I had the time, to allow it to bring me back.
No. Yeah. Yeah. And that idea of coming back to ourselves, I feel that as a strong message. Is there any other message you want to send to women learning to look at their reflection and come home to themselves? What message would you like to send?
Well, I want them to know they are not lost.
Yeah.
Every scar, every change is part of your comeback story, and give yourself time to see your new beauty emerging. It's softer, wiser, and more real, and it's yours. And it's yours in a way you've probably never thought about it before.
And that makes me think of, I'm going to bring in our amazing founder at this point, Siobhan, who's founded Cancer Bites and a great friend of mine. And I think that what you talked about there makes me think so much of you, Siobhan. And I know that you'd love to talk a bit about the Gifts That Heal and Give Back campaign. You can say a few words about that and why this was meaningful.
I absolutely will. And Marlene, it's just a pleasure to meet you in person. I've been in contact with your representatives,
Mhm.
Shauna, and you're working with Cancer Bites, our gift bags for breast cancer patients and some survivors will get them.
Mhm.
And when the box of Gleem Beauty products arrived at my door, I was just enthralled with it. it gleams. There is this beautiful little package that the breast cancer patients and breast cancer survivors that get our gift bag will get. And this is my go-to night cream now. It,
Oh,
it is
okay.
everything. Now, I don't think okay, I'll be Vanna White. I use it on my skin. Now, I live in the desert, Marlene, and
Wow.
when
Desert.
I wake up in the morning, my skin is dry, dry. Even if I've put on a night cream, I've tried so many different types. I wake up in the morning and it's like sandpaper. My cheeks are like sandpaper, right? And I started using Gleam. Every morning I wake up, I touch my skin because I can't believe how soft it is. I touch my cheeks, and it's all because of Gleam, because I'm on chemo treatments right now. I'm on a pill. I'm not on an IV, but it's
Mhm.
doing the same thing to my body,
Right.
and my skin. And so I I want to look in the mirror and see myself. And Gleam has given me that opportunity again, because when I came home from the hospital, I hadn't been using any products in the hospital. And it was just, are you kidding me? I'm starting to get wrinkled, and I was starting to kind of get that gray, pale pallor to my skin. And I have people that see me now, just even neighbors, and they said, "I thought you had breast cancer.
Wow.
You look great." Like, people that haven't seen me for a few months, they heard I had breast cancer. I should be drawn and cancer looking, like I've been on chemo. And you see people like that, but no, I'm gleaming.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
gleaming.
Wow. Those are the kinds of things that make it all worthwhile. Those are the kinds of stories when someone tells me, they can leave the house without makeup on, when someone tells me, their husband, after 25 years, mentioned her skin looked good.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, things like that. It's just phenomenal. And to think that, we're I call us simply effective
Yeah.
because the ingredients are, not harsh and they're effective. Part of it is I have to tell you one little thing about aloe vera before I go on to hear more about your story, which is that there are 75 active ingredients in aloe vera, and they're adaptive.
Yeah.
Meaning, if you need collagen and elastin, that's what it gives you. If you
Yeah.
need to motivate your moisturizing, that's what it does for you. So I think that's what your friends are seeing over the gate. They're seeing,
Yeah.
all the wonderful things that does to help you with what it is you need. You don't look like you don't look like you're in chemotherapy to me, I'll tell you that much.
I feel it though. Marlene, I was in emergency on Sunday because I had
Well,
chest
I-
pain. And of course, when you have breast cancer, any kind of pain, you immediately think, I'm dying. Oh my
well,
gosh. And
well,
so it was a day of rest. I think God decided that I was doing too much and I needed a day of rest in emergency.
I was going to say to you, I find it pretty phenomenal that in the middle of all this, you managed to schedule and do a podcast. You're telling this story on a podcast, and it's only 2 days later. And wow, look at you. You must, be something else in spirit and soul.
Thank you so much. Well, God's been on my shoulder the whole time, and I'll write a book about it because it is divine. It is
Yeah.
divine timing, divine intervention, divine moments. It is something I've recognized, and I think that it's maybe something that people with breast cancer, you're that much closer to realizing your mortality. So then there's something maybe that triggers within you, and I believe there's a shine that comes from within. And I have more energy today than I did before I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I have
Wow.
more focus and vitality and this sense of longevity, even if I don't feel good. I think that, wow, like life is going to be great. And you're right. Cancer Bites. This is what, our 8th episode?
Yeah,
Stacey,
we've
so
had so many
2
good
months. We've
feedback.
only done this for
Yeah.
2 months. It's crazy. And what we have, and you asked me to talk about this earlier, Stacey, so I'll just go on. So what we have, and we have Gleem. They're going to be these great packages with the 1 ounce creams in them,
Yeah.
the day cream and the night cream. They are going in gift bags to breast cancer patients and breast cancer survivors. And we are going to build on this idea. And so each and every season, each and every holiday, we are going to get more and more gift bags out to the people that are going through it right now. And they need a little lift. They need a little shine in their life. They need to gleam from the inside out, just like I am. And the products here, I aloe vera, I hadn't even thought of it as being something that would fix my skin, my desert dry. Like, it's like I'm one of those critters that run around, little geckos. My skin gets like that. And I have a huge aloe vera plant outside my door, and I never thought to use it on my skin. But I suppose that just putting it on your skin is, you need a little bit more to go with it, right? So
people do that. Put it on your body. Put it on your leg. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Sure.
So we want to thank, first of all, Marlene Wallach and Gleem Beauty Skincare for these packages, and also Jeffrey Hoffman for his kindness to bring these packages to these women that are dealing with it right now. And many, I'm sure, are not at the level I'm at, where I'm like, woohoo, I'm good. I'll get through this. They gave me 6 years to live. Yeah, right. It's not gonna, I'm gonna blow past that. I'm already still going for my stay alive to 105 mantra. And when I said that to my oncologist the first time, she just gave me this look of dread, like, she's fooling herself if she thinks she's gonna live to 105. But I will.
Yeah.
And I will gleam all the way through it. And I just want to say thank you. And sneak peek, Gleem will be in our December gift guide, gifts that heal and give back. So it will be one of the top picks in that guide. So everybody that's listening today, circle December 2nd on your calendar, because you're going to learn more about Gleem. And of course, you have the opportunity right now to learn more about Marlene. I love it. It rhymes almost, doesn't it? So thank you so much, Marlene. Thank you, Gleem, and thank you, Jeffrey Hoffman, and thank you, Shauna. I know she's in the background here. She's your PR person, and she's done a fabulous job of arranging everything that is happening here today.
Oh, one last little thing. My book came out recently.
Oh, that is wonderful. We're still going to talk about your legacy and purpose. Yes, please show us your book. That's awesome.
Called The Book of Uncommon Common Sense.
That is amazing. That sounds incredible.
Self-care upgrade you didn't know you needed. Now, this is
fabulous.
Anything earth-shattering. It's nothing you don't know, but it's a different way to look at it.
Oh, we can't wait to read that and get that book. And it's amazing. 2 things you've said already that really linked. So I'm based in Barbados and I'm Indigenous Caribbean, and we use aloe vera as well.
Yes, I'm sure you just use, yeah.
We do. And then we do have a saying here that common sense is not very common. And it's something that mothers
so great there, right?
It's amazing, the synchronicities, yes. So
we'll have to get you back on to talk about the book. So Shauna, let's book that.
I'd love to do that.
Yes,
So the book sounds like, along with inspiring so many people with beauty and wellness, and what kind of legacy do you want to leave then with Gleem Beauty?
Well, I guess part of what the legacy is about loving yourself, My hope is that Gleem leaves behind the new definition of beauty, one that's not about perfection, but more about presence. If someone looks in the mirror and feels seen, soothed, and strong, I mean, what else could I ask for? I want women to know that beauty isn't something you chase. It's
Yes.
something you nurture.
Yes. Yeah, that's beautiful because we can nurture that beauty that's inside us already. And I think that's a really wonderful message. And I mean, with all of this, what's next for you and the brand then, Marlene?
Well, what's next is we are going to be we're going to be getting into stores,
Oh,
into
fabulous.
health food stores nationwide. So that's going to be a real shift for us. We've been online and, I've been on CBS and NBC and all these different selling shows that have made us a national brand. But to actually be in stores is going to be very exciting. We haven't done that yet, but we're on our way.
That's
You
great. We
need
can't wait.
models.
Yeah.
Marlene, you have two beautiful women right here that have great skin
You're not,
because
you're
of
not
Gleem.
kidding. You are not kidding. Don't think I wasn't thinking about that.
You.
And maybe we'll all meet in the Barbados.
Yeah,
Stacey
you need to
asks
come to
every
Barbados.
every
I
guest so
invite
far
every
has got
guest
an
to
invitation to the
Barbados.
Barbados.
So you need to come.
Love it.
For
Yeah.
sure, for
Sure.
sure. Well, we're gonna, before we turn to our call to action and close, and I'll turn over to you, Siobhan, what is the message you'd like to leave with anyone going through cancer right now, Marlene?
There is an end to it.
Oh,
There is an end to it. It doesn't last forever, but you do.
beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. I mean, you've made us see that healing is emotional, spiritual. It gives us confidence. And we have the power to heal ourselves. And I really appreciate that. And I mean, over to you, Siobhan. You can talk a little bit about Gleam Beauty.
Do you have something for eyes when they're tearing up? I
I
mean,
know.
That's what people have been asking me for. And I'll tell you a secret. You can use the soft immersion under your eyes lightly.
Ooh,
I find myself, I'm usually not a crier. I had a podcast years ago with my very close friend Donna Butler. She and I did the Attitude Shift show. She was the crier. She'd cry at anything, and I'd be like, nah, like I'm tough, I'm strong. And then I get metastatic breast cancer, given 6 years left to live, kind of, you know, shocked, sad. You realize who your family and friends are that love you. You realize that there's some strangers out there that go to the ends of the earth for you, and you
Yeah.
start to see the split in the world,
Yeah.
the difference between good and evil, the spiritual war that's going on. And I think it's because we are aware of our mortality, and it's smack in our face. I mean, boom, like you can't get around it. It's just like you can't get past it. You have to go through it. And that journey, it's different for everybody. I've found just in the 4 months, 5 months that I've been under treatment, I found, talking with every woman that I've reached out to that has had breast cancer or is still going through it, like last week's guest, Kelly Witten, she's still going through it 5 years in. It's in her brain now, but she's shining from the inside out. You couldn't tell she had breast cancer. She still has it. She's doing things, creating things, helping people. And I think that is beautifully human, and it's what humanity is all about. And when you talked about gratitude, people have asked me, how are you getting through it? And gratitude has always been, for a very, very long time in my life, gratitude has been what I say my gratitudes at night before I go to bed. And I thank God for all the things that He has provided to me that day. Now, when I started out, it was hard. And when I was going through breast cancer, the first week or two, it was a little hard to say, thank you God for, but thank you God for apple pie and coffee in the hospital. Like, yay.
Yeah.
I thank you, thank you, thank you. So, what I'm finding is that this is an amazing journey. It does allow you to shine differently and find that childlike, youthful person you were, and that all the bits and pieces of life have sort of stripped away, and breast cancer is an opportunity to find that again, and to shine and gleam, and if you can get on that path, I think that that is the cure to cancer. Is It's from within. It comes from within. And you mentioned all your doctors and the family, and yes, that whole care team is so vitally important. And when you get somebody in there that's kind of like nattering, or you don't look like you have breast cancer, or sort of negative, just ignore it. Just ignore it. Carry on. They don't know what they're doing. They have no idea. They haven't gone through it. And they haven't reached that spiritual evolution that I believe this breast cancer journey, and probably any cancer journey, is allowing us to go through, to experience. And it's something that we have been chosen to experience.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my goodness. I mean, I could keep talking, so we definitely have to have Marlene back. And I'll wrap up now and just say, please, everybody, please visit gleambeauty.com. Please subscribe to the Cancer Bite podcast on YouTube. And Siobhan already gave a sneak peek of our gift guide. I mean, it's going to actually be launching November 17th. We'll have another part 2 on December 2nd. So, I mean, thank you so much, Marlene, for sharing
Thank you
everything with
for the
us.
invitation to share.
Anytime. We have to have you back. As Siobhan says, it's now become traditional for me to invite every guest to Barbados to, spend some time and, have some
I'm
R&R here
there. I'm
in the
there.
sun. So you're welcome to come.
And
Okay.
one last thing, Marlene, you mentioned before we started recording that you were going to be donating a portion of proceeds.
Yes, we call it our Pink 20, and we will have a special one for you and your where we donate 20% to the organization, and we give the individual purchaser 20% off. So we call it Pink 20.
That is just so generous, and we appreciate it. Our organization appreciates it. We will put it into Cancer Bites and getting the word out and encouraging women that, breast cancer is just the start of their life.
Right.
It's the next chapter.
And right now we are also doing that. We are doing a BOGO, buy one, get one. I just want everyone to have this.
Yeah.
And I've already, I'm already there, if you know what I mean. I don't need to worry about a lot of things that other people need to worry about. What I do worry about are other women and how they feel about themselves. And I'm so lucky that I can give. I am so lucky that I can give.
We so appreciate it.
We do.
Your generosity of spirit just gleams through.
Thank you.
Yeah, I feel so honored to have gone to talk to you. And thanks everyone who tuned in. And we will keep in touch with our next episode. Thanks again, Marlene. Sending love hugs from Barbados.
Okay. Okay.